Hey, welcome back to the Fourth Down Forecast, and we are officially into the second half of the season, y'all. Yeah, we've got an AFC heavyweight showdown between the Chiefs and Bills, and I've got some what's that? Where's Sarah? I'm gonna let her tell you for herself. Here you
go. Such a bummer, friends. I can't be there this week. Good old COVID got me down. But don't worry, I've got some weather notes that Raj will share.
Yeah, that's right. This weather thing. Man, I've been taking notes. I know what to do with this forecast. Here we go. All right, so we got the blue sky. Sky's blue. Sun's up there, and my radar, according to my notes, it says the moon will be up there a little bit later. Let's see, it'll be anywhere from 50 to 82 degrees. You see, probably be some winds, 5 miles per hour, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Coming from where, fool?
The north, south, east, the west. You know, the winds coming. Where's Sarah? Cut. All right, hey, I've got an unbelievable stat between Mahomes and Josh Allen you're going to want to hear. We do have some weather conditions I may throw in there, some real notes from Sarah. And of course, we've got your fantasy football, gambling stats, trends, and of course, some fun facts. So don't forget to subscribe and hit a like, helps us out. We appreciate you. I know I tease it, but let's start off with the heavyweight match. Let's go straight to the real deal. Yeah, the game of the week. I don't care how you try and slice it. The 5-3 Chiefs at the 5-2 Bills. Now the Chiefs are favored by 2.5 with an over-under of 52.5. Listen, we've seen these two teams many times before. In fact, the stat I was telling you about, the one you just gotta see, of course, the reigning MVP versus a former MVP that's playing like an MVP. Josh Allen 4-1 in a regular season versus Mahomes and the Chiefs, but 0-4 when it comes to the playoffs. Look at Mahomes in the playoffs. Oh, when it really counts. So it's, of course, a regular season game. Woo, it's going to be close. Both teams the best in the AFC. Potential conference game preview, But if you're giving me 2.5 points between these two even teams, I guess I would take the 2.5 points. Now, when it comes to fantasy, what's my approach? For me, I'm going to roll with Josh Allen and grab a few Chief parts, whether that be Rashid Rice, Kelsey. Obviously, there's a fantasy football tip of the week that you'll have to stick around and hear about later that I got for you on that side of the ball. That's coming later, of course. And when it comes to the betting trend, Josh Allen is 4-1 outright and against the spread against Mahomes in a regular season, including 4 straight wins and covers. Man, this is maybe the 2.5 points ain't as safe as I thought. Oh, and by the way, Sarah, real notes, it's going to be 40 degrees there. Those are real notes, not fake made up stuff that I just did. Oh, and a fun fact, did you know that Anchor Bar in Buffalo, the Anchor Bar, I don't know if it's just called Anchor Bar or the Anchor Bar, was the first establishment to serve the original buffalo wing? That's right. Yeah, I'm not a really big fan of buffalo wing. I don't know. It's just an awkward, disfigured part of the chicken, and the meat is all discolored. I don't see what you guys get out of that stuff. Ugh. Anyway, each their own. Let's move on. Okay, now the 3-4 Falcons at the 6-2 Patriots, and New England is favored by 5.5 points with an over-under of 44.5. And this one's a strange one. I mean, the Falcons, they couldn't get out of neutral last week. They had one of their worst games, especially running, of the year last week. You see they're 3-4 under 500, but the Patriots are 6-2 in the trendy pick. People love them in the AFC East right now, and Drake May is actually second in MVP voting, as you see him here eluding defenders. That's what he's been doing all year, running, passing, doing it with limited weapons, really. So this one's going to be an interesting game, but I like Drake May to keep it going. Tough defense that the New England Patriots have, so it's interesting to see how the Falcons will bounce back. And speaking of fantasy football, think about the Falcons bouncing back. Cal Pitts, the tight end, he's piled up 19 targets over his last 2 games, and he scored at least 13 fantasy points in each. So even though the Patriots, their defense is formidable, it allows the 5th most fantasy points per game to tight end. I know, right? And here's a betting trend for you. The Falcons are 6-14 against the spread in their last 20 games as underdogs. So not really doing it well when they're an underdog. Not barking much. Woof! What kind of bark did you do? I need Sarah back. I get too silly when I'm by myself. All by myself. Who sings that? All right, let's move on to the surprise, 7-1 Colts. And I keep saying surprise, but it keeps being a surprise. And here's no surprise at the 4-3 Steelers. Always around this record, right? Sorry, Wayne, Lourdes, even Nick, all y'all Steeler fans. I like Tomlin, but damn, it's the same every single year. Anyway, the Colts are 3.5-point favorites with an over-under of 50.5. That's right, I said an over-under of 50.5. And that's in large part to this Colts defense. Whoops, I just took myself off the screen. That's because of this Colts defense that has the #1 offense and it's played with sizable leads all season. So what does that mean? That's resulted in a lot of in the defense giving up a lot of yardage, kind of garbage time yardage once the game's out of hand and they're just like, playing prevent defense, if you will. Not quite that drastic, but hey, you give up some rushing yards, you do this and that. So maybe Aaron Rodgers and Warren can get it going for the Steelers and put up some points in this one. But that's why you see a big over-under of 50.5. And here's a fantasy football nugget for you. Daniel Jones has thrown for multiple touchdowns in 4 consecutive games and sits 4th in the league in passing yards. Yeah, I said it, 4th. And so when you're thinking of fantasy football, it's not just Danny Dimes, but think of his weapons. Tyler Warren, who I love, he leads all tight ends with 492 yards. And then, of course, this week, I do like Michael Pittman, as he's got 9 targets and top 20 fantasy points in each of his last 2 outings. Oh, betting tip, the Colts are 4-1 against the spread as favorites and 6-0 against the spread versus the AFC. Oh, and I actually got some real weather tips for you. This is, of course, courtesy of Sarah. Some slightly gusty winds at 17 to 20 miles per hour in this one. Yeah, how's that? I'm getting better at this. Shoot, better watch out. I'm going to be on TV doing the weather. What else does it say? Dry ahead of incoming system that could bring, what is this? I don't know what that is. Oh, this might be the wrong game. All right, forget everything I said. I think that was something else. Different game. Next. Hey, now, we always like to do Sunday Night Football, so let's wrap it up with the 5-2 Seahawks at the 3-5, I say disappointing Commanders. Now, Seattle's favored by 2.5 in this one, and the over-under is 47.5. So the Commanders, they've allowed 27 pass plays of at least 20 yards, and only 4 teams have yielded more. Of course, the Cowboys are one of them. But guess what? In only 7 games this year, the Seahawks wide receiver Jason Smith-Njigba leads the NFL with 14 receptions of 20-plus yards. So that's why I love this combination. Sam Darnold, JSN. This is my fantasy tip for this particular game. He's got Sam Darnold at least 19 completions of 20-plus air yards, and that's the most in the NFL with this leaking defense of the Commanders. Plus, let's go on the other side of the ball. Seattle's defense is for real. I really like them. Just some real football talk. I like them. I think they cover train on this one. Choo-choo, all that good stuff. I like it. Oh, in a little betting trend, the Commanders are 0-3 against the spread in primetime games this season. Take that, pal. All right, now for my favorite part of the show, the fantasy football tips of the week. This week, you got to pay attention to the running back injuries. There are some key injuries that are going to put some backups in key starter positions. In Chicago, DeAndre Swift's out, so Kyle Monungai is going to start. Of course, in New York, Scatterboo twisted his ankle all in the wrong direction, so that means Tyrone Tracy's going to start. But one of my favorite tips of the week is Pacheco's out for the Chiefs, so insert Kareem Hunt, who's already been getting goal line carries, but now he's going to get the bulk of the carries, period, in a high-scoring game versus the Bills. And the Bills give up the 6th most fantasy points to running backs, if I'm not mistaken. So I love Kareem Hunt in this one. In terms of receiver, I spoke of him earlier. The #1 offense in the league, going against Pittsburgh, whose defense has been a bit leaky of late. Not their type of the way that Tomlin likes to play, but they can be had through the air. So Michael Pittman Jr. is my choice. Oh, you got to put him on the screen, right? Here we go. Let's see here. So you see Kareem Hunt. Let's see, what's he cost on DraftKings? Most of these are DraftKings. $4,700 for Kareem Hunt. I like that a lot. Let's see. Let's leave that one. Okay, and then we want to go back to Michael Pittman, who is $5,900. So not going to break the bank anywhere. So you can get value in with those guys, and you can get your, load up on some other positions like McCaffrey, one of the big three this week that I like. When I say big three, I mean Jonathan Taylor, McCaffrey, and then of course Bijan Robinson. I like McCaffrey the most out of those. I like Bijan last week for those two, but they just had a stinker. It was weird. So there you go. Get some values in for fantasy football. All right, that does it for your Week 9 NFL weather, fantasy football, and gambling stats, and of course the fun facts. Had to fly solo today. Hopefully Sarah will recover soon from her sniffles.
It's COVID, Roger.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Hope she gets over. She's doing fine, y'all, for real, in case you're wondering, not downplaying that. But hey, don't forget to subscribe or smash a like, and we'll see you next week.